If you love what we do, then please consider supporting CryptFail on Patreon. Your support helps us grow and to create more content more often. And now, on with the show. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor, and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it we go nowhere. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. These are the voyages of the U.S.S. Pegasus.
Shuttlecraft log, stardate 43051.8. Lieutenant Tuan recording. We, myself, Commander Hunt, Lieutenant Thatcher, and Lieutenant Book are on our way to Narendra Station. The station is located in the Shackleton expanse, a vast region of previously unimportant and unexplored space, which in recent years several major powers have begun to explore. As Starfleet is currently stretched thin in regards to available ships, we are traveling in this shuttlecraft, a runabout, and will be for the entire 2-week journey. Techs have worked to improve the life support system. However, in our second week we have noticed the air becoming more stale over time, and look forward to reaching our destination.
So obviously, my character's at the con. Depending on what other, it's roundabout interior is pretty small, isn't it? So, how many bunks?
2. That's why you're hot bunking.
Taking turns sleeping.
So 2 on watch, 2 off watch.
So who's flying the ship when I'm not flying the ship?
The botanist.
Sure.
Obviously.
All right. I guess.
But it's a straight run. It's not been particularly dangerous. So, any of you could have handled the standard flying sort of thing, and you are in warp.
Well, who's on watch with my character?
I can be.
Okay. And the other two are asleep. The commander's looking down at the panel, one of the flashing lights. He looks up at Kelle. We're picking up a distress signal.
Wasn't expecting that.
Not in warp, anyway.
Well, what do you think we should do about it?
Is it a signal or is it a message?
It is a message.
Oh.
All right, play the message.
And it's really staticky, and you can see a human Federation science officer standing in front of the hollow projector.
Xerxes 4. Danger. Emergency distress. Assistance required. We repeat.
Xerxes 4.
Where is Xerxes 4 from our current position?
I will allow someone to do a anything related to astrogation to try to get some momentum and general information.
So what would that be?
It would be science and reason, because it's information.
Can I assist?
If you want.
Wow. Okay. This will be interesting.
I will assist, because I assume since I've seen all of this as well, I would be trying to think of where this is as well.
Well, alright. So my character's first name is Phoenix. Yep,
Phoenix.
just so you know.
Okay.
And you would have been... So Phoenix turns to Kelle. He's got a bit of a confused look on his face, as if Xerxes 4. Do you know where Xerxes 4? Have you I'm just a pilot. I usually just fly around, systems and asteroid belts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I will.
You want to go wake up Aura?
Mind.
See if he knows?
Yeah. We might as well wake them both up.
Alright.
Kelle will go wake up the other two.
Is it my turn already?
Not exactly. Do you know where Xerxes 4 is?
It sounds familiar.
It has to be within
Okay,
range,
well-
because we're picking up a distress signal.
Yep. There's apparently danger, and they need assistance.
Can I roll to see if I know it?
If you're going to access the ship's logs, yeah, if that's what you're going to be doing, like the database.
Yeah, I'll access the ship's database.
I will wake the botanist up as well. Not necessarily any particular reason to, but hey, they might as well be up.
Well, botanists might know about plants that come from Xerxes 4. So they might know where Xerxes 4
Possible.
is.
Well, I will wake them up either way. Oh,
Nice rolls.
nice.
I believe that is 2 success.
Yeah, thanks, Aura. I was going to have a look, but I'm more a hands-on-y kind of pilot.
And usually I more just give advice to people.
And how do they take it?
Really depends on the person.
Yeah, Xerxes 4. If I recall correctly, that's a Federation research station. It's about 12 hours away from here. Xerxes 4 itself is an M-class planet. No native sentient life forms, but there is a lot of plant life and a low amount of animal life.
Oh, so our botanists may come in handy.
Yeah. Why did you want to know where Xerxes 4 is?
And Phoenix brings up the distress signal.
And it plays again. It's a loop. It's not ongoing. It's just like it's ongoing, but it's not like they're not doing it in live. It's just they've made it, and it's just on the computer must be sending it out.
Are you aware of any dangers that would be present in that area, Aura?
No, the local wildlife is not particularly dangerous as far as I know. The research station was studying plants, so it's not like they were dealing with anything dangerous. Yeah, this is a concerning thing. We should probably go check it out. It's our duty as Starfleet officers to respond to any distress call.
I would agree. Commander?
I concur. Or do you want to send can you send a message to Starfleet informing them of our detour?
Sure. And I do that.
Is our botanist still asleep?
No, she's gotten up. She's standing behind you. What's going on?
We're taking a detour.
Why?
Distress call from Xerxes 4. Do you know anything about the research station there studying plants?
Xerxes 4. There was something in one of the journals before. There's not many animals, which was weird, but a lot of plants, and they were going to do some studies. There was some positive research done and just initial stuff, but it looked like that there was some things that might be good for medicine, some regenerative sort of DNA stuff.
Huh.
But it was really preliminary. That was like 5 years ago.
Well, I wonder what went wrong then. But we're headed there.
Not yet, we're not.
Well, we will be.
Phoenix will adjust coordinates, pull us out of warp.
And it's just deep space. There's nothing around.
And get the coordinates off Aura.
Yeah, I send them over to you.
I'll line up the ship and then we'll hit warp speed. Do runabouts have a variable warp drive, or is it just warp 1, warp factor 1?
I think it's faster than warp 1, but I don't think it's particularly fast. I think it's up to warp 3, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you could probably do 1, 2, or 3.
So could we get there faster, or is it's that 12 hours at top speed?
That was 12 hours at top speed. If you want to try to make it faster, you can roll against it, but there is the chance of something going wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'll be keeping a listen to the recording, but they're just asking for assistance. They're not really asking for urgent assistance. So,
I mean, is there such a thing as a non-urgent distress call?
It sounded pretty serious to me.
well, in the nautical sense, if a ship puts out a distress signal, you can have ships that might lose their engine power and are just floating in the ocean, compared to a ship that's actually sinking. Which one would be more the priority? Definitely the ship that's sinking.
Oh, well, I hope the research station is neither sinking nor floating in an ocean, because I don't believe it's meant to be either.
Commander looks at Kelle. Is Xerxes 4 a station, or is Xerxes 4 a
There was a research station. Xerxes 4 is an M-class
Yep.
planet.
So is the research station on the planet or in space?
It's on the planet, studying plants, so...
How much danger could plants really be?
I'm not sure the plants are the danger. That's what they were researching.
No, we don't know what the danger is.
I think we should go in expecting hostiles. Just in case.
Well, Commander Hunt's going to be playing back the message every now and then just to see if any extra bits of information come through as we get closer. Do we have weapons on board?
The runabouts have basic weapons, and there is like the hand phasers, and within reason, there is some there's standard sort of gear available.
Who's keeping track of our momentum, by the way?
I've got it written down.
I mean, I've got... Yeah, me too, but we all could, or just one could. I don't know.
If we all do, we could end up with different momentum at the end of the day. We'll start again next week and say, hang on, I got 2 momentum. No, I swear I've got 3.
Yeah, that's why
possible.
I'm not going to keep track.
Alright, well, I've got that we've got 1.
Yep.
So...
Maybe it's something we check at the end of the game. I guess there's new people being thrown together off to a new, location. We're all sort of probably a little bit. What do I talk to this person about? I have no idea what interest. Yes, there's a certain sense of awkwardness here. It's that kind of awkward. What rank is she?
She's a lieutenant junior grade.
Haha, same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you all lieutenant junior grades?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What's aura?
Yeah. I believe that. I just wrote lieutenant, but I'm assuming that's
it's a commander and a bunch of...
Well, what you know about the Pegasus is it is an old NX refit. So the NX class was the first Enterprise ever. So you know Starfleet is getting pushed on its resources through various things with the Dominion. There's been some Borg stuff that they are pulling out old ships that have been mothballed basically from starship graveyards. And the refit was done not quite from the Enterprise era. It did go through a reasonably extensive change. It had a whole new section added that wasn't on the original Enterprise design. But still, she's an old ship. And you didn't get tons of information about it, but you did get that it had been pulled out of being from one of the graveyards, and that a crew was being assembled. So you're assuming you may not be heads of sections, but you are definitely going to be key components of medicine, science, and stuff like that, which is why you're all lieutenant junior grades.
Except for me.
Except for you.
Except for Adam.
So
you get to be in charge.
But you know that Lieutenant Book is going to a different ship. You're just ferrying her to the station, but she's got a different assignment.
Okay. A rescue mission. So is Kelle's last name, or...
Kelle is Kelle's first name. Kelle's last name is Tuan.
How do you spell that?
Tuan.
And Aura's last name?
Thatcher.
Thatcher, as in Margaret Thatcher?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A relative, I'm sure.
Lieutenant Thatcher and Lieutenant Tuan and Lieutenant Book. Cool. Yep.
And I suppose we should describe our characters a little bit. Mine is half Andorian, half human, so kind of not quite as dark a blue color as most Andorians. But yeah, they've got the little antenna thingies.
Are you blue?
Yeah, not quite as blue as other Andorians, though.
Cool. And what's Emily's character?
Kelle is... basically looks exactly like a human, except got like a little silvery buttony thing on her forehead. But other than that, there is no real difference between a human and a... Adam and I were debating how you say this. Is it Rizian or Ryzian?
I thought it was Riza.
Ryza?
Like the place.
The planet Ryza?
I think it's Riza, not Riza.
So it would be Ryzian?
That's how... I mean, we can check, because, I mean, there's several episodes. But they're amazingly empathic. Like, the reason why Ryzans are so...
That's why they'd make a good counselor.
Yeah, I mean, they're very open, but they see past people's, like, things that other people might judge them on.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't see that as a detriment or a reason not to like someone or want to spend time with them. So I think, while there's a joke, obviously because they are so sexually free, and it's sort of like the space hippie in a way of Trek, at the same time, there's something really kind of like cool about them. Like if you actually look at what their sort of ideology is with this. But the flip is that they're amazingly empathic, so they do make really good counselors, medicine, anything in medical. I mean, it doesn't mean they can't be scientists and stuff, but they are really in tune with people and their emotions and that. So they're kind of like Betazoids in that way, but without the telepathy and that.
They have no telepathy or anything.
Well, they could possibly make good security officers.
Well, maybe they could, but I can't.
Yeah, well,
if you look at my character
again, if you look at the flip, they mightn't be the best necessarily in the fight, but I think they would be. I mean, they could be with the training, but they would be really good at de-escalating before, depending on the thing. Obviously, someone like a Klingon or a Romulan is already in the fight, not so much, but I think they'd be really good at de-escalation.
That's why one of my talents is peaceful existence, which reduces the difficulty of trying to dissuade others from resorting to conflict.
Right, exactly. So, yeah.
But yeah, that's the rundown on Ryzians, I guess. And what's our commander?
Our commander is a fairly tall human male. He's like attractive, but like, not... has a certain presence about him. Sandy coloured hair and blue eyes. If anything, his hair's probably a little bit longer than Starfleet regulations. Yep, so that's our characters. Oh yeah. And what's Ellen the bottom?
She's human, long dark hair. She wears it tied back. A little nervous. Definitely she's like where she's sitting but one foot's tapping. You don't think she's had a lot of experience in the field. Definitely a more book smart kind of character.
Well, if we don't do anything, I'm assuming we drop out of warp above Xerxes 4. Nothing new comes in on the emergency thingy.
So you enter system, and you can see Xerxes 4. There is several planets in the system, hence it's the fourth. And you can see that it is a very lush green, like it's the light reflecting from the sun on it. It's really green. There's some polar caps towards each end, but it's a really bright planet. Like, so there's the plant life is pretty teeming, and there is an ion storm covering about half the planet, and it is the biggest you've ever seen.
I'd hazard a guess that's the reason for the distress call.
It's like silver cloud, and there's just flashes of lightning, and it's like half well, from what you can see, it's like at least half the planet. You're thinking like you've done the sensors are giving you sort of at the moment passive because no one's done an active scan, but it's curving around the backside of the planet.
Flying into an ion storm's not really recommended.
Transporting is impossible, but you have little choice. Well, you should have no choice on one and little choice on the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the runabouts drives? Aren't they ion drives?
Warp.
Well,
yeah, well, they would possibly be affected by ion energy, yeah.
But we do need to get down there.
I've actually never flown through an ion storm before.
Do you think you... I don't know that we have a
well
choice but to try.
And I am assuming this when I'm telling the GM. Yeah, we did do it as part of our training, but I mean that was just training in a simulated environment, in a hollow environment. But yeah, it's quite risky flying through ion storms. We definitely can't transport through it, but if we lose the engines, we will lose all ability to fly, basically.
Can we send a message to Starfleet and just update them on what's going on here? So in case we don't come back, they can send a rescue
That's
party.
a good idea, Thatcher. You can do the honors.
Alright. So I try and send a message to Starfleet Command.
And you're in orbit, so you think you can do that. There's no interference from, here.
Okay. And I assume it's not like a live channel, it's a message that will pick up
it has to be.
when it's
The
over.
vast is, and you know from the Shackleton expanse being so new, well, it's very old, but it's not been explored by any of the main things. There's no relays. Within Federation space, there's a lot more relays, so messages get there faster because they bounce off these things. So the further, whichever way you want to look at it, the closer you get to Shackleton or the further away from the Federation, it takes longer. But yes, it's not live.
Okay, so I send a message saying that we've encountered an ion storm around the planet, and we're going to probably try and fly through it to rescue people down below at the research station.
Lieutenant, do you want to track this storm? I just want to get an idea on whether it's moving or not.
Sure. I'll use the sensors.
Okay, give me a roll.
Alright, so probably reason science or reason engineering.
Reason, it depends what you're looking for.
I think at this point I just want to keep track of where it is and in relation to where the
So that's reason science for sure.
research center is.
That's reason science.
Alright, 2 success. Just in case we crash on the way down and, might need to save someone. But I'm sure nothing like that will happen. Alright, so it looks like unless something changes, the storm will be over the research station in 3 days. The storm is covering roughly half the planet. And can I tell if the storm is moving and rotating around the planet, or is it getting bigger and expanding?
You are definitely thinking it has been expanding and probably getting faster. Which is not unusual, but it's probably been, for this scale, it's probably been building for a bit, and that is also unusual. They usually would burn themselves out like a hurricane. They'd be strong in that for a bit, and then they just, dissipate. This has been bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay.
But what's your second question? Because if it's not too...
It was, could something like this be artificially created? Or have I seen, or do I know what a cause might be?
Oh, they
science
are
research.
naturally forming. I'll give you that, for free. Your other one's actually a bit of a slightly momentum spend, because it's very specific. But
Yeah.
without spending the momentum, they do form naturally. They are a natural, on some planets, ion storms are a natural phenomenon.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll spend momentum to figure that one out later. Yeah, so it looks like this storm is growing. It's getting bigger. Not just moving around the planet. It's can I estimate how long it would take to cover the whole planet, or?
You think if it keeps going in its current rate, you've got maybe about 2 weeks?
Yeah, so it looks like 2 weeks the entire planet will be covered in this ion storm. But there's 3 days before it reaches the research center.
3 days before it reaches the research center.
Yeah.
So we have a window.
But
We
not
do.
long.
How many people can fit on this ship?
Comfortably or not?
Yeah, you could probably get up to about 15, but it would not. It would absolutely be stressing it. But you did send the message to Starfleet, and I would assume that being Starfleet officers, you may have, or Starfleet as well. They are aware of what a shuttle could do. So if they get it and you're like, we're going to the research, we're going to office facility, they're going to realize that would be tough for a shuttle. So there would be a safe assumption that they would try to get an actual ship to you to back you up.
Do we have any idea how many people are working at this research station?
Ellen says, usually if it's just a small outpost sort of station, the most would be 20. Usually less. It depends on the priority of the research.
All right.
Well, it seems like we have two options. We can stay here and wait for Starfleet to come with a bigger ship to help, or we could go down and see if we can rescue as many people as possible, or maybe even figure out what happened and maybe there's a way to reverse it.
Thatcher sent in another message to Starfleet saying that we probably need assistance in evacuating. Give them our window of opportunities 3 days and tell them there's no way that we're going to fit a whole station on board a shuttle, so...
We should still go down as soon as possible.
We're going to go and investigate.
There may be injuries.
But I think Starfleet needs to be informed that that the ion storm is also growing. So we only have a window of 3 days.
So I patch in a communication to Starfleet and update them with the latest information.
And you see a green light. The message has been sent.
All right. Let's make our way.
Let's try, yes.
So you enter the atmosphere and you're trying to stay as far away from the storm as possible, I assume?
Yes.
But you're noticing that there is a lot of ionized particles, and I'm going to spend a threat. There is suddenly like this flash of really bright lightning, and you don't feel it hit the ship. It doesn't actually feel like an impact, but suddenly everything goes off and the nose of the runabout just dips and you start to fall.
And this is what I didn't want.
And you start to feel the G's in your straps. Science Guy does know you can try to reroute power, but you also know you have a very limited period of time to do so.
I'm going to try and reroute power to the main thrusters, see if we can level out a bit here.
Okay, so you rip off a panel and they've got all those the little chips. They're all lined up. So give me a roll. And sorry, Emily, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to ask Aura if he needed any help.
I'd say Aura's kind of panicking a little bit.
25,000. 24,000.
Okay. If you want to try and calm him down, so could do that, but...
Oh, dear.
Oh.
I was
that's
like,
a 20.
ooh, not 20. Wait, no.
Okay.
That's bad.
Awesome. Okay, so...
Oh, no.
Give me a piloting roll. Suddenly, as you're falling, you're starting to spiral and go into this flat spin. You start to get flickering of power, and then the thrusters are kicking in, but you know you're going to crash.
Oh.
Okay, so that'll be daring and con.
Yes. This is not a bad point to spend a momentum if you wanted to spend one for a third dice.
So what do the values do?
Your values are fundamental to who you are as a person, and they're tied to your determination, but they're also tied to your RP, right? Like if you say that all life is important, then if you ever have to take it in the name of Starfleet, that should be a cause of great, personal distress sort of thing. So it's not just how you tie it to your determination, it's also how you see the world and yourself.
Yeah, this is a good point. Does anyone mind me spending a momentum here?
So you can add a third dice to your roll.
Okay. How's it going down there, Thatcher? as Hunt's trying to pull on the stick and there's no movement on there.
Not great. You're gonna have to land this probably without the thrusters. Sorry.
Manual landing? Are you kidding me? Hunt's flicking switches.
You got this.
Oh no!
2 20s in a row.
So, I spent Chris's 20 on something, which is going to happen. But this is like Genesis. So, okay.
Yeah, so I can decide.
I'll give you the start of this, and then I'll let you work out where you want what complication you want it to be. So, as the power starts to come back, you do start to get the nose up, but you know you've just lost too much altitude and you have too much speed, and you're trying to scrub as much as you can off, and you get just getting lower and lower and lower, and you start hearing the trees and branches hitting against the hull. And then there's this impact, and it's really hard as you hit the ground, and it starts to slide. Going across a plain of grass towards what looks like the side of a hill, and you can take your disadvantage threat from there.
Crashing damage the ship beyond repair. That's putting us in more danger, is it?
Unless you want it to be. At the moment, you are unaware of what systems will survive the impact.
Okay.
If you want it to be beyond repair, you can use that if you want.
All right.
Or you can make it. You can have certain systems have gone down, or
okay. Oh. So we've crash land. So we're stuck on the side of a hill, or is it?
You are approaching it at speed. I'm letting you finish that off. You are assuming, so to be fair, not that one. That propulsion is probably down, like for sure. You're pretty sure you've lost an nacelle. That's affected that. You can spend the complication on another system being. Whether it's damaged beyond repair, that doesn't have to necessarily be the case, but I mean, certainly some systems are not going to be functioning from an impact like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are sliding, not at you are losing speed, so you're not going to be hitting it at like 300 kilometers an hour and bursting into tiny bits. But yeah, there's the side of a rocky side of a hill that you do think that the ship is going to impact against.
Oh, okay. We're impacting against the side of a hill. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
So it's starting to slide, and for a bit, you're a little bit worried that it's going to be the nose, but it starts to turn to the side.
I see.
Oh. Okay. So, Commander yells out, brace for impact. He's lifted up his hands, and he's just, it is shaking around. Thatcher, you better get in your seat.
Right.
And probably before Thatcher gets in his seat, the ship slams sideways into the cliff. And rocks fall down from above. We can hear the sound of dung, boom. There's a crack in the front windscreen. And then it's just silence.
Everybody make a fitness
Oh, good.
security roll.
Oh, good.
Fitness security.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2D, isn't it?
Best thing. Okay, 1 success.
Oh my god, I almost rolled another 20. 1 success.
You're close.
Okay, roll 3d6.
Who?
Yeah.
Everybody. Yep, you all got basically the same.
Oh my god, that's not foreboding at all.
No, that's not terrible.
Oh, mine's a bit better.
How 3d6 I have to roll the maximum. This
Actually-
never happens in 5e. What the heck? Okay.
So you finish the the ship just smashes, and that sudden impact and the impact in general has caused you to be, if you're strapped in, there's still that sort of bouncing around a bit against the straps. So Adam takes 3 points of stress, which is damage, and you took 3 effects. So that can be more damage, which I do not suggest, because that would be 6 points. And I think that if it goes over 5, it becomes a bit of a problem, I think.
Okay.
You can be stunned.
3 effects.
Yeah. So you can take something like being stunned, like knocked down.
So the flight control, the conch chair breaks free. He suffers whiplash and concussion from hitting the wall. I guess the concussion might be quite bad. Can you have two effects?
Yeah, well, it's a level 3 effect, so yeah. Emily, you get 1 effect and 2 points of stress damage.
Okay. And 1 effect, so is that just less serious than
Yeah,
me, or
yeah.
what? I guess just stunned then, but not actually concussed or anything.
That's what I mean. The impact was quite hard.
Yeah.
And Chris's
Alright.
is 2 points of damage, and he had no effects in his.
Ooh.
But
So stress is damage,
stress
right?
is damage, yeah.
Just double checking.
And
Okay.
Lieutenant Book looks to be quite hurt.
Sorry, how do I know what my maximum stress is?
Whichever number of boxes are open and not crossed out.
Right. Okay.
Like, I've got 8 boxes without an X in them, so I can take up to 8.
And I've got 11.
Okay. Yeah, I have 8, so now I'm at 6.
You got 6 left because you took 2. Yeah.
Right. All the other ones have check marks in them, so...
That just means those are
Not used, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm just wondering how we recover stress.
You take time to rest. Medical as well can help, depending on the injury.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to remember
How to remember what?
what my maximum is, or does it not work like that?
Your maximum will always be
Yes.
8, unless you somehow manage to increase. I think it's based on fitness
Yes.
or something.
And that
Okay.
colossal sound of the crash fades away.
Is everyone okay?
The commander doesn't respond.
That's
But then
worrying.
the commander's chair's not where it's supposed to be either.
Kelle's not responding right away, but after a while, she's probably going to start trying to get out of her seat.
And I will say Kelle does have a medical tricorder. That would make sense, I think, for her profession.
Yes, I did have one last time, so I put it in my equipment again this time.
What's the difference between that
And
and a
I've got a med kit.
tricorder?
Standard tricorder is designed more for scientific things, scanning metal, atmosphere, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Whereas the medical one is designed around a biological approach.
Yeah.
They make a distinction in the show.
So I'll go over to where Captain... Is it Captain?
Commander.
Commander?
Commander Hunt should be, and not able to find him. I'll look around and try and find his chair, hopefully with him in it.
He's not that far away because it's still a...
It's still in a runabout.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still a very small...
He has not been ejected from the vehicle. That would be very bad.
Yeah.
I give him a couple of slaps on the face.
is slapping someone
That,
with concussion good?
That...
He doesn't know you got the concussion, though.
I know. That's what I'm asking the GM, though. Is this...
Yeah. Yeah. Kelle, who's managed to, like, unstrap herself from her seat, is gonna be, can you please not do that?
I'm trying to wake him up.
If he's unconscious, he may have suffered injuries that could be worsened by striking him, so...
Okay. I'm going to look for the door, which I assume is where it usually
Yeah,
is.
it is closed. There is
The door hasn't...
a
It just
mechanism.
crashed. I don't know.
There is a mechanism for opening when there's no power or very little power.
Okay, I pull on the mechanism to open the door.
And there's a and it opens, and it smells like farmland before a storm. And the air is quite nice, especially considering a week in the runabout. The scrubbers they were starting to work a bit hard.
I'll step out and look around my surroundings.
I'll go check if Aura has murdered Phoenix by slapping, I guess. Would doing a medical check be reason and medicine, or is
Yes.
it something
Yes,
else?
unless you're trying to ascertain... If you want to ascertain the mental condition of someone, I'd say insight.
Currently, I'm more concerned with the physical well-being of everyone, so we'll do reason.
Another 20.
Yikes! It was my turn. Well, that's one. No, not even one success. That's 2 failures and one's a 20.
Okay, so the failure's a failure. So at the moment
Yep.
now, did you use your tricorder? Then you
Yes.
get a D20 for the tricorder.
Oh,
It's assisting you because it gives you information.
thank you, tricorder. That's 1 success.
So, do you have any focuses that might apply?
Focuses. Unless you want to argue that since I'm not human, xenobiology would apply, then no.
I will allow it. We have to look up.
All right.
We have to look up xenobiology, but it is the study of other species. So
Yes, and I am not human, so
I'm assuming your interest would not just be cultural in that study; that it would have been in the medical.
Medical, yeah.
So you would have 2 successes. So, yeah, you have 2 successes and a complication.
and a complication. All right, what do I know from successes, and what?
So the complication is obviously surrounding this situation, but it doesn't have to be like 100% to the injury.
Yeah, I was gonna say it can't be something like, oh no, he's got permanent brain damage.
Yes, I wouldn't go anywhere like that. So Adam can actually give you his injuries because he was the one that sort of did them to
Okay.
himself.
But what injuries are we dealing with here?
Concussion and whiplash.
Concussion, whiplash. I guess I would say with the med kit I've got, I can ensure that nothing's going to be terrible, no lasting damage. I can get you up and walking, but it's still the kind of thing you're actually going to need checked out properly, which you won't be able to do till we can leave this planet.
That sounds fair. There's huge advances in medicine and that. So the concussion, I'll say it's much easier treated than it is today, but
Yeah.
it is a brain injury. So that sounds...
So you're maybe still gonna have some effects from it, but it's nothing we can deal with till
So the commander's
we
awake.
can leave. I am gonna say that yes.
Whoa.
I've got stuff in my med kit that could restart your heart if it stopped. I'm gonna say I can bring you back to consciousness.
Yeah, she's the hypo spray that they do in the neck.
Yeah.
You know, she would go and you like wake up.
Oh, with a roaring headache. Oh, my neck.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that could have went better. My head.
Yes, please be careful.
How's the crew?
I still have to go check on Ellen, but Aura's up and walking anyway. I'm gonna go do that now, actually, since you're awake. And I'm gonna go take a look at Ellen, because I did not, in character, know that she looked worse off. Alright, so she is unconscious?
No, she's awake, but it looks like that she couldn't get strapped in properly and had been thrown from her seat during the crash.
Okay.
And she's laying on the ground and she's holding her side and she looks at you when she comes over and she's like, I think it's bad.
Okay.
In hindsight, we should have made sure that we're all strapped in.
2 success.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like you have maybe broken one of your ribs. And there's a possibility of some internal damage I'm going to want to take a look at later when we can actually get you back on a starship. So for right now, just going to get you stable and give you some anesthetic, and then we're going to see what we can do from there, okay? Okay. Kelle's gonna use the hypospray to give her some anesthetic, first of all, because she looks like she's in a fair amount of pain. And then do anything she can to get her stable. And after that, she's going to kind of gesture the commander to follow her outside a bit farther away from the runabout. Is he going to follow?
Commander's looking pretty dazed.
Oh. Oh, true. I am forgetting that. Okay. Then we will have a conversation later.
You can talk to Aura if you want. He's already out there.
I could.
Did the commander see her beckon him, or?
I would assume so, because she did make a thing saying she wanted to talk to him. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, he gets up. He looks a little bit dizzy on his... Not dizzy, but he's swaying a little bit on his feet, and he's got his, pinching the bridge of his nose. He walks out. Hang in there. And like as he's walking past the botanist, he says to her, hang in there, Lieutenant. And walks out.
Yeah, I just would be walking far enough away from the ship that if we talk quietly, she's not going to hear us.
Well, if it wasn't such a miserable crash site, this place would actually look quite lovely.
It would. I'm very worried about Lieutenant Book if we aren't able to get her proper medical care within, I'd say, 4 or 5 days. She's not going to make it. She's as stable as she can be right now, but there's internal
Is she able
bleeding.
to be moved?
I wouldn't really recommend it. No, we shouldn't move her.
I mean, if she's not, not to carry
when
her.
We're leaving.
I'm saying, do we need to build a stretcher and tie her down to it?
For what?
For transportation to the station. The station will probably have medical supplies, which might help. Given that they're so far away from the Federation, I dare say that they would have some sort of...
We can try, but I'm not optimistic that we're going to be able to fix this without getting her back on a starship.
In any case, we still need to get... we're not going to be able to get a message off.
No, I don't think so. Not... no, probably not.
Alright, how is she at the moment?
She's as stable as she can be. I wouldn't really want to move her from the shuttle. Not even to try and take her to see if they have any medical supplies there, because even just trying to carry her over the terrain could worsen the injuries. At least leaving her in the shuttle, she's protected from the elements, but yeah, we probably should leave her where she is. For now, she's stable. I've given her some anesthetic because she was in quite a bit of pain. I'm hoping she'll be able to sleep for a while, but
Alright,
very...
if you give her something to maybe rest and ease her pain, especially over the next few hours, we'll track off to the station and see if we can't get something or send some help back. I guess would be the best option.
All right.
I want to walk around the shuttle and check the structural integrity of it. I want to know if there's like a antimatter drive or something that might be about to explode, or anything that leaving someone here would cause them harm.
Give me a roll against engineering. So this is reason engineering.
Dice maiden.
1 success.
So you don't see anything like is this shuttle in good condition? No, but it hasn't. The hull itself has not been punctured. It has lost the right nacelle. From an internal point, it seems okay. The left nacelle is damaged, but slightly workable. You do feel if you're a little lucky, you might be able to generate some basic life support of heat and stuff like that, and replicator, which would replicate food and stuff like that. There does not appear to be anything that will explode. It doesn't look like an imminent chance of catching fire. And you do think that if you lock the door, sort of thing, that it would be hard for anything to get in.
Okay. I will walk back to where the others are. Did you guys go outside to talk?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you were part of that conversation as well, since you said you were already there, but...
I was, but I was also exploring the ship and checking its integrity. So I probably heard a little bit about what you were talking about. So if we have to leave Miss Book in the shuttle, I think we can. It's not gonna be damaged. We might even be able to get a little bit of electricity to the replicators, but yeah, it's not a long-term solution by any means.
Before anybody does head out, I would appreciate some help if we could try and move her to one of the beds, but we'd need to be very careful.
What's exactly broken?
It's tricky to tell the full extent of her injuries with what I've got. We've got at least a broken rib and some internal bleeding.
So, broken rib as in punctured lung, broken lib as in...
She's not currently having any difficulty breathing, so I don't believe she's punctured a lung. Internal injuries, more worried about the bleeding.
Alright, I'll give you a hand with moving her to one of the beds. We'll try and get her strapped in.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can sedate her first, because I imagine it would be very painful to move her even with the anesthetic, so... yeah.
Hunt will head back into the ship. Roundabout, shall I say?
Yep. Kelle's gonna go do whatever she can for Lieutenant Book.
I'll attempt to secure our surroundings. And I will draw my phaser. And kind of walk around the perimeter and see what this planet is like.
It is very foresty where you currently are. Like, you're on the edge of a plain. Not very big, so a clearing more than a plain. So it's like a clearing that your runabout has crashed through. There is a large trench of torn up dirt going back about 400 meters where the runabout first impacted and just tore through this field. There are large trees and smaller trees about 150 meters away, and they're sort of Earth-like, but they're not super Earth-like. They are different, but they are definitely trees. They have that same sort of bark and leaves and stuff like that, and they're green, but there's slight differences to the actual makeup of them. Not much plant, like animal life, rather. There's not like many birds. There is some. You can hear some sort of like calls and that, but there's not a lot of animals in comparison.
Okay, that was my question. And do I see any like evidence of large predators or anything like that?
Give me a reason versus... I'll allow you to choose what you think would be the best sort of option for looking for tracks.
Okay, can I use xenobiology for
Yes.
this? And what does that give me? Sorry, is that 3?
No, if you
dice?
get under what your discipline is, you get an extra success.
Oh, okay.
Not added together. So whatever your discipline is for the one you're rolling against, if it's under, and so you have to roll the one that your focus is connected to, though.
Right.
Right? And
So science.
yeah. So you can't do some. I mean, it gets a little bit iffy because sometimes you say, well, if I knew xenobiology, I know where it's better to shoot them. Well, yeah, in the head. But you know what I mean? Like, it gets a little bit iffy on where it could be, but usually your focuses and that go under a specific discipline. But yes, I will allow that. So yeah, so whatever your discipline number is, if you roll under that number, you get an extra success.
Nice. So 3 success. I'm just going to look up what my talents actually are real quick.
While Aura's outside doing that, Hunt will walk inside. And so, Lieutenant Book, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Which one do you want first?
She sort of looks up. Bad, I guess.
The bad news is you're going to be stuck on this bed for a little while. The good news is you won't have to go and walk a few Ks or however. I don't know. Hunt turns to Kelle. Did we even see the station on the way down?
Yeah,
I didn't.
very briefly.
All right. I did. Very briefly, we did.
What's the good news?
That is the good news. You don't have to come walking with us. And at least the air's a little bit fresher. So there's 2 bits of good news.
Right.
All right. So take a deep
Great.
breath. This is going to hurt.
Hang on. We're going to move you onto the bed because I don't really want you lying on the floor till we can leave. It is going to hurt if we just move you. If you're okay with it, I can give you something that's going to help you fall asleep, knock you out for a bit. That might make it a little easier.
Please.
And yeah, I thought so. All right, hang on 1 second. And I'm going to sedate her. All right, now we can move her. But please, we need to be very careful.
Okay, I will let you roll against this. 1
Control.
target number, so it's not particularly hard. I'm basically trying to let you get some momentum, but as there is a risk involved...
So who's
either.
rolling?
I would suggest you, because you're better, with an assist from the commander.
And it's... What, it's going to be control.
Yep, I'll allow it
medicine,
to be control medicine because you can take your time and do it properly and that. So it would be your control plus medicine, and
Okay.
he will get 1 roll against his control medicine.
So you roll 1d20 if you're going to assist.
Yep, okay.
Oh, please
my God.
assist.
Jesus.
Huh.
20 and a 19. Come on, Dice Maiden. I thought we were friends.
Oh,
Tell me that's a success.
my control plus medicine's 12, so yes.
Yes. Okay. So.
Okay.
All right.
the 20.
Great.
Yes,
The
you do
20.
get her. You succeed. You don't get any momentum. You do get her onto the bed. She is unconscious, so she doesn't feel any pain. I didn't raise the complication range, so the 19 isn't, but the 20 is. It does not have to be related to her. It just because I don't want the complications to get so narrowly specific that you feel the only thing you can do is do more injury. You know what I mean? But something about the situation is not quite right. You don't have to decide on it now. I mean, most times you do. It's something but you'd have to make note that at some point something has to come up related to this overall incident that is not working as planned. End of part 1.
All right. We got Kelle.
Take 37.
Aura. Take 30. This is the 37th time.
Take 47.
Cake.
In a galaxy
Cake
far,
47.
far
What?
away.
There's Cake 40.
Take.
Oh,
Take.
okay. All right, Cake's coming into this. Weird.
No,
We
that's
have
tomorrow.
Cake?
Oh, there's cake in my house tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Not that I'll eat it.
All right. Commander Hunt, stardate 41.046.069. We've just been given a new assignment to head off to Narendra Station. Narendra. Damn. Why did I name these things? Anyway. Narendra Station. And again. Anyway. Some station in the middle of the Shackleton expanse somewhere. Stupid name.
Most confused entry log ever.
You should have heard.
She'll hear. She will hear.
Gave him time to prep for it and everything.
Oh my gosh. We're on our way to Narendra, to Narendra. Why did they name it that? That's so confusing. To Narendra, I've done it again. To Narendra, to some station in the Shackleton expanse.
It didn't help that Aaron had spelt it wrong. So,
In fairness, let's be honest, it wouldn't have made a damn bit of difference.
probably not. It's supposed to be
Anyway, that's
Narendra.
Nar-
Not
Narendra.
Naranda or Narendra.
Narendra.
If we want to go down, we'll probably have to take a shuttle.
You are the shuttle.
We're in a runabout.
We're
All right.
we are. We're not on a big
Yeah.
ship yet.
We've been stuck on a runabout for the last week.
Yeah.
How the heck do you get 666?
By being a
you
very
just do.
bad boy and not going to church. Star Trek Adventures, featuring Emily as Kelle Tuan, Shadow as Oren Thatcher, Raveninsane as Phoenix Hunt, and Ghost is the GM. Star Trek Adventures is the official RPG and is released by Modiphius Games. Many of the sounds come from Sirenscape, which is a great app for bringing sounds to your table. Check them out at sirenscape.com. This has been a Crit Fail production.